Good morning, I hope you're having a fantastic day. Now it's time for another Music Month video, and as specified in last month's video, the theme is going to be February Heartache. Because f*** Valentine's Day, right? But yeah, Music Month, if you don't know what that is, I pick 5 songs and 1 album that are kind of personal favourites of mine that I feel represent and convey a specific theme. This month's being Heartbreak, so yeah, this is going to be a collection of some of my favourite very, very sad songs that I like to listen to if I'm feeling especially lonely. Song number 1 is called Let It All Out, and it's by the American rock band Relient K. This is one of those songs that I've listened to since I was like 17, 18 years old, so there's a lot of nostalgia attached to it, and instrumentally it doesn't particularly sound like a sad song. There's this nice change from simple time to compound time between the chorus and verses, but the thing I really like about this song are the lyrics. Instead of tackling the kind of usual, oh I'm very, very sad because someone broke up with me subject matter, in this song they're talking more about that point of realization that people have when they know that they need to break up with someone. It's something that not everyone will have experienced, but it's really, really interesting when I hear music that's about that, because it adds a whole new dimension that people don't normally think about when it comes to love songs and relationships. And for people who've been in that position where you know that even though you love someone and you care for them a huge amount, something isn't right, and there are lots of factors that add to that, but you know that actually you do need to break up. Arriving at that point of realization is an incredibly painful thing, but it's also one that involves responsibility, and I feel like this song conveys that sort of feeling really well. Track number 2 is called I Just Don't Think I'll Ever Get Over You by the absolutely brilliant Colin Hay. If you don't know who Colin Hay is, then you aren't watching enough Scrubs. He's a Scottish-born Australian musician and actor who actually became prominent when he was the lead singer of the band Men at Work in the 80s. Since then he went on to do lots of different things as a solo artist, but some of the stuff that I enjoy the most of his is his acoustic music. And I Just Don't Think I'll Ever Get Over You is one of those rare songs that says exactly how you're feeling about a certain thing. Lyrically, it's just so honest and so down to earth. It's not one of these songs that's peppered with a whole load of cliche metaphors. It's just expressing that sort of feeling that even though you're not necessarily heartbroken anymore and you've moved on with your life and everything's fine, there are certain loves that you're never ever going to fully get over or forget. It's just honest and beautiful and conveys that feeling so well, and the instrumentation is lovely. It's just his acoustic guitar, it's absolutely brilliant. The Rocket Summer actually made a cover of the song, which was pretty good. It's a bit more of a fleshed out production. It's great, but I just feel like it lacks a little bit of the sort of raw heart of the original. Track number 3 is called Hide and Seek, and it's by the absolutely amazing sort of experimental electronica artist Imogen Heap. A lot of people kind of know about this song because of that fucking god-awful Jason Derulo track What You Say. The female vocal sampled in that is the climax to Hide and Seek. It's terrible, but I mean, you know, who cares? Imogen Heap probably got a whole load of money for that, so fair enough. Anyway, Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap. Beautiful, beautiful production on this. It's done entirely with a vocoder. There is no instrumentation to it at all except her voice. It was quite a sort of experimental, groundbreaking thing of her to do when this came out, and this has actually been mirrored a little bit in the recent Bon Iver album 22 A Million, where he uses the exact same technique. But yeah, amazing, beautiful production on this. And the lyrics, they're something that when you first listened to it, I didn't really just listen to the lyrics, I was kind of more interested in just the sound of the piece. But when you actually tune in and listen to it, it's just so heartbreaking. It's just kind of setting this scene of a failed relationship that just shouldn't have failed, that kind of was sort of like almost cut short. Track number 4 is called Bronte, and it's by the Australian multi-instrumentalist Gautier. I've mentioned him in other videos, absolutely love his music. I've got Making Mirrors on vinyl, and Bronte is the final song from Making Mirrors. The music video for it is absolutely stunning. I mean, similarly to all of his music videos, they're all very much works of art. That song utilizes a very simple chord progression and bass line when he starts singing that just comes alive when you listen to what the lyrics are. The lyrics are slightly ambiguous. I feel like unless you're Gautier himself, then you don't know the exact definite meaning behind them, but as with all good songs, you can kind of project your own thoughts and feelings onto them and get a very, very strong emotional reaction. And there are a couple of lines in it which, similarly to I Just Don't Think I'll Ever Get Over You, are very, very simple and very sort of just down to earth, but really kind of hit home. It hurts to let go, for example, is one of the lines of the song, but when he sings that, it's like you've never heard those words before. Absolutely love it. And finally, track number 5 is Shiver by Lucy Rose. If you don't know who she is, Lucy Rose is a singer-songwriter from England. She has this just amazingly soft, lovely, delicate voice and has written lots of very pretty songs. I haven't listened to her new album yet, but I did see her live in my first year of university, which was really, really cool. And the song Shiver is just so delicate and is just reflecting on a relationship that doesn't exist anymore, and all that heartache that leads up to the point of a relationship breaking down and then continues afterwards as well. It's just really, really fucking sad. Like, if you're feeling bad about a breakup or something, listen to that song and you'll just start crying. And later on in the track, there's the addition of, I think, a lap steel guitar, which is prominent in country music, and it works so well. So those are my 5 song choices. Now let's move on to the album of the month. Unsurprisingly, Heartbreak February's album of the month is by one of my favourite artists, Keaton Henson, and is called Dear. Now obviously, basically any of Keaton Henson's music and albums can fit into this category. They all have moments of just desperate sadness on them. But I decided to go with this one because this was the very, very first album that he made, and also this is an album that wasn't ever really meant to be an album. He had just gone through a very, very difficult breakup and wrote loads and loads of songs about it afterwards. And it wasn't until he reluctantly, I think, showed some of these songs to one of his friends that this friend of his said, you should put some of this online, this is really good. And he did, and then he got recognised because it's just so good. So if it wasn't for that friend, we may never have heard any of Keaton Henson's music. Because of that, I feel that this album is the most raw, truthful, and desperate piece of kind of breakup music, effectively, that you'll ever hear. I mean, the songs on this album were written purely as heartbreak catharsis. They were never intended to be released as an album, and that's why they're so fucking honest and authentic. Also, I am by no means saying that Keaton Henson's later work is fake or lacks any of the integrity of this one. I love absolutely all of it. This one just seemed like the natural choice for this month because this is literally just a collection of songs written about a breakup. And there are different types of sadness that music can make you feel. Some of it just makes you feel sad, and you know, maybe you feel like having a cry when you're listening to it or something. But there's also music that can make you feel like that, but also just devastated and make you feel kind of empty and hollow. The kind of music that when it's finished, you just sort of sit there. This can do that. It's not just surface level tearjerker ballads. If you listen to this album, you are diving headfirst into the brain of someone who is going through heartbreak and all of the other emotions that entails. Jealousy, anger, melancholy, sadness, everything is in this album. Because it wasn't written with the intention of other people hearing it, it's just a brutally honest portrayal of someone going through those feelings. And I absolutely love it and will forever. Seriously, this is one of my favourite albums of all time, and I highly recommend that you listen to it, but only if you're in an environment where you can actually sit down and listen to it. Don't just like stream iTunes previews on the bus or something. So there we have it. That is the February Heartbreak Music Month. As always, I really appreciate any suggestions that you have, so if there's any music that you feel ties into this theme, or if you want to comment on any of my choices, then let me know down in the comment section. The theme for next month is going to be Melancholy March, so I can't wait for that, some more depressing music to talk about. That will be the last month for a while that I'm talking about sad songs. I'll do something a bit happier after that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you very soon.